Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another um, episode of College and Career Pathways, where every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 2 p.m. we provide you with information on various colleges and universities, financial aid resources, training programs, skilled trade positions, career readiness skills, all designed to help you make the best career decisions possible. I am Tony Cureton, your host, and today we are with Schoolcraft College. Portia, welcome back. We're so glad to have you.
Thank you for having me. Like she said, my name is Kendra Porche, and I am one of the admissions representatives here at Schoolcraft College. So I speak with high school students and other prospective students just to educate them on what the institution has to offer them as a whole. I also work with students who are coming onto campus with the application process, and then also the admissions process to work towards actually enrolling in their classes. So the Admissions and Welcome Center is our students' first stop on campus. This is where they can apply to the institution, then also discuss their next steps in the enrollment process. Hopefully today you learn a little bit more about what Schoolcraft has to offer, and consider us in making your choice on what college or institution you would like to go to following high school, and within your next steps in your educational and career journey. So first and foremost, we always like to start off with some facts about the institution as a whole. We do this year have close to 14,000 credit students who are currently enrolled with us on campus, whether that be for traditional courses, remote courses online, or a hybrid method course. These credit students, within that, we have our guest students who may be attending another institution, a four-year institution, and want to take one or two classes with us to transfer back to their home institution. Within that, we also have our dual enrollment students who are current high school students looking to earn college credit while they're still in high school. We have our students who are working on one of our credentials, whether that be a certificate program, a skill certificate program, or an associate's degree program. And then we also have students who may be on a transfer path if their end goal is to obtain a higher degree outside of just earning their associate's degree or certificate. So a wide variety of students that you'll see on our campus. These students are also traditional age students coming right out of high school. Then we have our non-traditional students who are a part of that total number as well. One nice thing about Schoolcraft is that we have fairly small class sizes where our student teacher ratio is around 21-1. So it's not uncommon that your professor will get to know you on an individual basis. A lot of our class spaces are very practical, very hands-on, hence these smaller class sizes. So as an institution, if you go outside the classroom, you'll get to connect with a lot of different peers, hence the close to 14,000 students that are enrolled with us, but your class sizes will be small where you can have one-on-one time with your professor and then also connect with your peers through those practical experiences. Here at Schoolcraft, we do offer 130 academic programs to our students. They range from health sciences to education, to professional like trade programs. We also have some programs in culinary, which is very popular here. So a wide variety of options when it comes to what you can study here at Schoolcraft. And even if we don't have your particular program, we can support you with the transfer route. A lot of our students come here, they are looking to transfer, and they sometimes use this as a starting point to get some of their general education credits completed. So as you may or may not know, regardless of what institution you go to, if you're trying to obtain one of those higher degrees like your bachelor's or master's, you'll have a set of general education credits. You'll have to complete your natural sciences, your social sciences, your math, your English. So students will use this as a starting point to get some of those credits underneath their belt before transferring those credits over to complete their actual degree for the area that they're particularly interested in. One nice thing about Schoolcraft also is that we are an open enrollment institution. So what this means is that we have no minimum GPA or test score requirement for our students to be admitted. A part of the admissions process is for our students to submit their transcripts and test scores for placement purposes, but that will not affect the students' admissions to the institution in any way. We have students from a wide variety of walks of life and areas. We have over 170 international students from over 40 countries who attend with us. We have individualized support for our international students as well, with our international advising office who work hand in hand with those students to get them started and set them up for success when coming to campus. At Schoolcraft, we've awarded over $81 million in grants, loans, work study, and scholarships within the year of 2021-2022. A lot of our students are funding their full tuition through scholarship opportunities. And if you decide to come to Schoolcraft, once you are an admitted student, you have full access to apply for all of our scholarship opportunities that you qualify for. So a lot going on overall at Schoolcraft, and a lot that we have to offer in terms of financial aid you can receive, and then also programs you can choose from. Regardless of what institution you are considering after high school, here this web kind of outlines some things you should consider when selecting a college and finding your ideal fit for what institution may be best suited for you and your career and educational goals. First and foremost, their admissions requirements. So for, like I mentioned, we are an open enrollment institution here at Schoolcraft. So we have no minimum GPA or test score requirement to be admitted. But for some institutions, there are specific test scores and GPA requirements that are required for a student to be admitted into an institution. So that's something you should consider when you are applying, and evaluate where you stand when it comes to what you are currently receiving on your transcript in terms of grades, and then also what your test scores look like and how that aligns with the institutions that you are considering. Also, academic programs. It's super important that you are aware of what academic programs a school offers. A lot of times, students will choose a college because their sister, their cousin, or family friend went to that college, or they will even choose it for the football team or a specific athletic program that the school offers, which is fine. But you want to make sure that they're catering to what your academic plan is. And a part of that is seeing if the college offers the specific academic program that you're interested in. I always encourage students also to look and see if they have a second option. So if you get to the college and, for example, you chose to study social work, and then you decide later on, like, hey, I really don't like this area, I want to explore something different. See what is a second option to your first choice when it comes to academic programs, and see what institutions offer those, because it's super important that they have what you're looking for. The goal of you going to college is to attend, get good grades, and then eventually graduate and then get a good paying job. So you want to make sure that they have what you're looking for. It's a lot easier for you to change majors than it is to transfer to an entirely different institution. Also, cost. The last thing we want is for students to get to the institution and then have to leave because they weren't able to afford it after their first semester. So within that cost conversation or thought, you also want to consider what scholarship opportunities the school is offering you, what scholarship opportunities they have available for their students, because you want to make sure it's cost effective for you and you can actually persist and work towards graduating from that institution, not have to leave because of costs and not being able to afford your classes or being at the institution. Geographic location, where's the school located? Are you someone who's looking to go further away from home? Do you want to be closer to home, where you can travel back and forth easily? For me, if I think back to when I was making my college decision, that was something I did consider. I didn't want to be too close to home, but I also didn't want to be too far away because I'm very family oriented, and I wanted to be sure that I was able to get home for the holidays, to spend it with my family. So that's something to consider, when it comes to choosing which college you would like to attend. Demographics, what does the student body look like on campus? Are you going to be able to connect with your peers when you get to that campus and feel included when you're there? I always tell students you're going to be here at the institution for 2+ years of your life. So you want to make sure that you feel included and it's a space that you feel welcomed in terms of those who are surrounding you on campus. Student support and support services. This is super important, because I feel like this is one area that students lack in seeking when they get to the post-secondary institution. Be sure that you explore what resources are available to you on campus as a student, whether that be academic success coaches, tutoring, workshops to support you academically in a classroom. What type of resources are available to you and what type of supports can you receive to be successful in the classroom? That's super important no matter where you decide to go to college. Employment outcomes. How is the institution getting you connected to those employers for after you graduate? Like I said, the goal is for us to get good grades and then persist to graduation and get a good paying job. So is the institution getting you connected to those potential opportunities that are available for after you graduate? Are they setting you up for success to be more marketable when you are marketing yourself to employers? A big office on our campus that helps our students with this is our career services office. They get students connected to apprenticeship opportunities, internship opportunities. They're starting to expose our students to what employment can be like in their specific areas. They also get our students connected to on-campus employment if they want to work while they're going to school. And then lastly, they get them connected to and potential employers for when they're approaching graduation. Also, they support our students with resume writing. If you have difficulties in interviews and you want to build your interviewing skills, they can support you in that as well. So what does that look like at the institution that you are considering? And lastly, student life. Oh, I missed one. I'm so sorry. Student life is another one. What do they have on campus to support you outside the classroom as well? Whether that be athletics or student-ran clubs and organizations. Here at Schoolcraft, we have both men and women's sports that we do offer, and then we also have student-ran clubs and organizations. And one nice thing about our student-ran clubs and organizations, if you take on leadership roles within those, there are potential scholarship opportunities attached to that as well. So that's something to explore, especially if you want to get involved when you get to the post-secondary level. And lastly, reputation. What's the school's reputation? And this is all encompassing. So their reputation with their academic programs, their reputation for admitting students, their reputation for their sports. If you know you're this star athlete in high school and your end goal is to make it to the NFL, if you're in football, you want to see what the school's program is like. What's their reputation? Are they going to support you in your potential career goals and what you want to do after you graduate from the institution? So these are all important things you should consider, regardless of where you're choosing to go to college, and how the institutions should be and willing to support you within that process. So regardless of what your specific educational goals are, whether it be to come to a community college and obtain an associate's degree here with us at Schoolcraft, or you're planning to transfer to get your bachelor's degree, we have staff on campus who's here to support you within that process. So we have our academic advising staff, us in admissions, registration, financial aid. We're here to support you within that process and make sure that you're on the right track, regardless of what your end goal is. So this screen here shows some of the credentials that we offer. First and foremost, we have our skill certificate programs. These can be completed within 1 to 2 semesters worth of classes, and they're designed to get students right out into the workforce and working after that 1 to 2 semesters worth of classes to get that credential underneath their belt. We also have certificate programs, which are similar to skill certificates, but are a little bit more robust when it comes to courses you have to take. These can be completed within 2 to 3 semesters worth of classes. And like I said, they're designed to get you right onto the workforce within a short period of time and get you working in your field. And then lastly, we offer associate's degrees for majority of our programs. These are your 2-year programs, and these go more in depth into the content areas that you may be interested in. One nice thing about our programs, regardless of if you start off being interested with the skill certificate or certificate, is that you can stack these credentials. A lot of our programs offer skill certificate and associate's degrees within that particular area. So you can stack those credentials. If you come to the institution, you realize like, hey, I really love this and I want to explore this more in depth and may potentially want to work up into a higher degree above an associate's, you have the ability to stack those credentials up or move up. But if you're just interested in an associate's degree, you can also start off at associate's degree or certificate program. It's all up to you, and we're here to support you through that process. So we do offer a couple of different course formats when it comes to taking classes here at Schoolcraft as well. For our students, we have our traditional courses where they're face-to-face, where you have a specific day and time. You have to meet in a classroom setting with your professor for your courses, and then you'll have assignment due dates attached to that as well. We also offer online courses. These are at your own pace, where you don't have a specific day and time where you have to meet, but you will have assignment due dates outlined in your syllabus at the beginning of the semester. We have remote courses, which is similar to what we're on right now, a Zoom call, where you will meet a certain day and time with your professor for a live lecture on a web conferencing call. And then, of course, you have assignment due dates. And then lastly, we have hybrid courses that are available, which are a mixture of remote and in person. These are most common within your science type courses and your art studios, where you'll have some days for the course where you're in person in the classroom, and others you will be on a web conferencing call with a lecture from your professor. Here at Schoolcraft, we also offer 3 convenient locations for our students to take courses. Majority of our courses are held and our programs are held on our main campus on Haggerty Road. As you can see, we have our main campus on Haggerty Road between 6 and 7 Mile. That's where you'll find the majority of your academic programs. If you are in some of our specialized areas in public safety or manufacturing, you may also have courses over at one of our other 2 locations. So for our students who are in criminal justice, homeland security, fire technology, our police academy, you may also have some courses that you may take over at our public safety training complex. For our students who are in mechatronics, welding, plastics technology, metallurgy, they may have some courses over at our Manufacturing Engineering Center, also known as our MEC. So there is some flexibility in where you can take your courses if you are in some of those specialized areas. But like I said, majority of our programs are housed on main campus. So I always encourage students, if you do plan to attend Schoolcraft and you're building your schedule, be sure you know exactly where your classes are taking place, because we do have 3 locations. Here's a snapshot of our main campus. So first and foremost, you can find our Vista Tech Center. If you come by campus right now, it's currently under renovation because they are expanding. In our Vista Tech Center, this is where you'll find our student activities office. You'll also find our which was on the Waterman side. You'll also find our culinary department and also our on-campus restaurant. Like I said, they're currently expanding this. Our brewery program is also in our Vista Tech Center. If you ever get a chance to come onto campus, it's a really nice facility. I'm super excited to see what it'll look like after the renovations and expansion of that area. We also have our Health Science Center. This is also one of our newly renovated buildings. They expanded our Health Applied Science building to become our Health Science Center. This is where you'll find a lot of our nursing labs, our new medical imaging programs are housed there. Our pharmacy tech program is housed there, and a lot of other labs. We actually have a partnership with Trinity Health, and some of the contractors that built the facility that we have for our urgent care on campus, they also contracted that building in the renovations to actually mimic what the actual hospital spaces look like in the classroom. So our students are dealing with actual equipment that they'll use out in the workforce, and those labs actually simulate what they'll see out in the hospitals when they go out to work. We have our Biomedical Technical Center. This is another place where a lot of our students take their science courses, and there's a ton of professional simulation labs there. Some of our nursing labs are there. As you can see in the photo below, that's one of our simulation labs in the Biomedical Center for our nursing students that can simulate the mannequin can simulate real life illnesses for our nursing students to practice. And then lastly, we have our St. John's Mercy Elite Sports Center, where there's a full indoor track, a smoothie bar. This is also where our movement science program is housed, and all of our students have full access to that facility. Here's a snapshot of our public safety training complex. As I mentioned in my previous slide, programs that are housed there are criminal justice, police academy, homeland security, our fire academy, and then also fire technology. As you can see from the photos, there are some training courses over at that complex, also a fire tower where our fire technology program actually practices extinguishing fires. And then there's a training pad for driving for our police officers who are in the academy. And then lastly, here's a snapshot of our Manufacturing Engineering Center, also known as the MEC. Some programs you can find there are biomedical engineering technology, our CAD program, our engineering technology, manufacturing, metallurgy, plastics technology, and welding. These are actual classroom spaces. As you can see, there's state-of-the-art equipment and industrial equipment that these students will actually use out in the workforce, actually in the classroom. So amazing facility. We also have a full apprenticeship coordinator, internship coordinator for these specific programs over at the MEC Center. One nice thing about the location of the MEC Center is that it sits in an industrial complex. So we are able to offer our students those internship opportunities in the area and also those apprenticeship opportunities so students can start earning money in their field prior to even graduating from the institution. As I mentioned before, we have a ton of support on campus for you as a student, one being academic advising. So when you get to the college level, your academic advisor will be the expert in helping you understand what is required of you, but also being there to support you in developing your educational plan. So if you need understanding of your academic program, what classes you need to take, what are your transfer options if you want to pursue a higher degree, or if you need strategies for success, your academic advisor is your go-to person. For all of our new students coming into the institution who have never attended a college previously, we require that you meet with an academic advisor prior to starting your first semester of classes. This is to set you up for success and to be sure that you're on the right track with selecting the classes you need to actually fulfill your program requirements and not classes that you won't need and that you're spending money on that don't go towards actually fulfilling your program requirements. We also have academic support. As I mentioned, this is one of the things you should be seeking out on whatever campus you're interested in. We have academic success coaches, we have free tutoring, and we have writing support. So if you're someone who struggles writing essays, we have that support through our writing studio. We have 24/7 tutoring that is available to you if you're struggling within a certain content area. We have a peer mentorship program and scholarships that are available through that. We have student leadership and professional development. And lastly, we have our student success workshops. Specifically, we have some jumpstart workshops for math that are available to students. And our academic success coaches are also there to be of support to students and to keep them on track. They send out early alerts for students they see who are struggling. They support you within your academic success. All of this is housed within our learning center on our campus in our Bradner Library, and students have full advantage can take full advantage of this at any point in time while they're on campus. We also have disability support services that's there to support our students who may have an IEP or 504 in the classroom to help them be successful at the college level. So if a student needs special accommodations such as extra time on the exam or note taking, they would have to show documentation to our disability support services, and they can get those accommodations in the classroom to be successful. As I mentioned earlier, we do have a career services center that's there to assist students with employment opportunities. They host expos and job fairs for our students to begin the networking process. We also have a full online job board where they post around 150 postings a day with potential employment opportunities that are available. They are there to help you do some career exploration. So if you're unsure on what you want to do, also academic advising can support you in that as well. They can help you build your resume or start a resume if you don't have one. They also have outlooks for what potential careers may earn. So they're a huge support in helping you understand what's all out there in terms of employment, what's available in the area, and they're able to get you connected to those resources while you're still on campus. A lot of our students seek them out as a resource, especially when they're approaching graduation, so they can get prepared and become more marketable when they go out on their interviews, but also to get connected to what employment opportunities are available so they can be set up with a job after they graduate. As I mentioned before, we do have on-campus athletics, both men and women's sports. We have basketball, bowling, cross country, soccer, softball, and volleyball for our women. Then we have baseball, basketball, bowling, cross country, and soccer for our men's sports. We also have performing arts performances in a program. Even if you're not a student here at Schoolcraft, you can get involved with our performing arts. They do about 2 productions a year. I believe their last production was Frankenstein that they just did. And students, like I said, individuals who are not even enrolled at Schoolcraft can get involved with our performing arts program. We have more than 20 student-ran clubs and organizations. We have some academic organizations. As I mentioned before, there could be potential scholarship opportunities attached to students taking on those leadership roles within those organizations. We have a full student activities board that offers scholarships to students. We have a Black Student Union. We also have our student newspaper where there are scholarships given out to our students as well. So I highly encourage you to get involved when you get on campus. It's a nice way to interact with your peers, meet new people, and put on your resume essentially, especially for those who don't plan to work while they're going to school. This could be a good resume builder for you to something to add to your resume as a leadership role and that you can talk about during your interview process if you were someone who chose not to work while you were going to school. We also have honors and leadership programs that are available to our students. First and foremost is our student ambassador program. This is housed in our admissions office. Essentially, our ambassadors are the face of the college. They represent the institution in various capacities across campus. And this year specifically, they've even been representing us off campus through recruiting efforts through the admissions office. These students are awarded $1,500 for the fall and winter semesters if they are part of the program. Another resume builder is something you can speak about and make you more marketable when you are going out on those interviews. But also another way you can cut down that cost of tuition if you decide to become a student ambassador. We also have our Scholars and Honors program. This is similar to our honors college. These students have a set curriculum and they do community service efforts. They get $2,400 over the course of 2 years of being part of the program. This is another nice resume builder. This is more merit-based, and there are specific courses that they have to take and obligations they have for this program. But it's an amazing program and a nice way to interact with peers, similar to the ambassador program. And then lastly, our student activities, as I mentioned, has some opportunity for scholarships as well. If you take on some leadership roles, as I mentioned, we have our student newspaper, our student activities board, we have Phi Theta Kappa, which is like an honors fraternity program. We have our Black Student Union, and they can award up to $1,100 per semester, depending on what position you hold. So we're just going to dive a little bit into paying for college. So this is just a cost comparison when it comes to what Schoolcraft is charging for tuition in comparison to some of your other state schools, your four-year institutions. This is based on a 15 credit hour student per semester for 2 semesters. So when you get to the college level, each of your classes will be worth a certain amount of credit hours. And this is how your tuition will be calculated. For this example, this student is taking 15 credit hours per semester for 2 semesters. For our students who are in the Clarenceville, Garden City, Plymouth, Canton, parts of Novi school districts, they fall within our resident category. And then for our students who fall outside of those school districts, they're considered our non-resident category. So as you can see, for our residents, they're close to $5,000 for tuition for those 2 semesters. And then our non-residents are close to $7,000 for those 2 semesters. But it may seem like a lot of money, but if you look in comparison to starting off at a 4-year institution, I'll just use Michigan State, for example, you're close to $16,000 for just the cost of tuition. Something to consider is that there's an additional $10,000 that can be tacked onto that if you have to stay on campus for room and board. So anytime you stay outside a certain radius of a school where you're unable to commute on a daily basis, you have to you'll be required to stay on campus. So that's an additional $10,000 on top of what you have to pay for tuition. So it's something to consider. That's why a lot of our students decide to come here first and then transfer over to complete their higher degree if their end goal is to get a bachelor's degree or higher. So here's a couple of different ways you can pay for the cost of tuition. First and foremost is through the FAFSA, so the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. This application opens every year on October 1st, and it lets you know what financial aid you qualify for through the government. And also this can be tied to some of the scholarship opportunities that may be available as well. So for some scholarships, you're required to fill out a FAFSA. So I always encourage students to fill out their FAFSA as early as possible because it can be a lengthy process, and you want to make sure this is all taken care of prior to starting at the institution. As I said, it opens every year on October 1st. Anytime that you're enrolled in school, you have to complete the FAFSA. So as long as you're enrolled in school, you have to renew your FAFSA every year. So you want to make sure you get this taken care of. One thing I would like to know is that if you're considering coming to Schoolcraft, be sure you put us on your FAFSA. You'll find our FAFSA code right there at the bottom of the screen, 002315. Be sure to add us to your FAFSA. I believe there's up to 10 options available for schools you can add to your FAFSA application. If you don't put the school that you're interested in going to, their financial aid office cannot receive it. So be sure you put them on your FAFSA. Another way you can pay for college expenses is through scholarships. I highlighted a ton of scholarship opportunities that we have available specifically at Schoolcraft through Schoolcraft. By no means is this all the scholarships that we offer, and by no means is this all the scholarships that are available and that are out there. There are outside scholarships that you can apply for that you can use at the institution. This is free money that you don't have to pay back. So I always encourage students to seek out as many scholarship opportunities as possible. Apply for as many as you possibly can, because if you are awarded those scholarships, like I said, it's money that you don't have to pay back to the institution as you would with a loan. And then this can reduce the cost of your tuition or expenses you have to come out of pocket for. And lastly is student employment. Some students may be qualified for work study, where they're rewarded work study funds through their FAFSA application, and they take on student employment to fulfill their work study requirements. But also there's additional student employment opportunities available just on campus. As I said before, we have a full career services center that is available if you are interested in exploring what potential employment opportunities are available on campus. And this slide just dives a little bit deeper into scholarships and financial aid. So just to give you a quick rundown and breakdown of the different forms of aid you can receive, I'll start off first with grants. Grants are based on financial need. So if you complete the FAFSA, you may qualify for some grants through the FAFSA application. This is money that you don't have to pay back as well if you are awarded. Like I said, this is more need-based, depending on what you may need after you fill out the FAFSA. Scholarships we already covered. These can be awarded for being a part of an organization. Scholarships can be awarded for being a part of an essay contest. Scholarships can be awarded for grades you received in high school. So there's a ton of ways you can be awarded a scholarship, but it is free money that you do not have to pay back if you are awarded those funds. Loans, of course, we all are familiar with loans. This is money that you do have to pay back. There are loans you can qualify for through the FAFSA application, but if you are being awarded enough scholarships, grants through other streams, and then also the FAFSA, you may not have to take out any loans, but this is money that you would have to pay back. And then lastly, work study. This is earned money. So this is money that you can earn through the FAFSA, but you actually have to work to earn these funds. And then essentially you would use your paycheck to go towards funding your tuition. So you figure out if you qualify for the work study through your submitting your FAFSA application. So there's a question on the FAFSA that asks you want to be qualified for work study. Check yes. The worst that can happen is that they don't give it to you if you don't qualify for it. So work study is you figure out if you're eligible for work study through the FAFSA application. We kind of covered student employment already, but I would just like to reiterate that we do have a full service job board on our website, on our career services website, that they post postings daily for students who are interested in having student employment and being a student employee on campus. Like I said, if you qualify for work study, this could be one way you can use your work study and you will get a paycheck, and then you can use those funds to go towards the cost of paying for your tuition. In our admissions office specifically, we have some scholarships that we offer our seniors. yearly. Our highest one being the Award of Excellence. So this is based on the 3.5 or higher GPA. And this is $1,500 for fall and winter. So $3,000 total. As you see from our breakdown and cost of tuition, the most you will pay as a 15 credit hour student, if you're taking 15 credit hours, is close to $7,000. So if you're being awarded 3,000, that's cutting that cost down tremendously for you if you're awarded that scholarship opportunity. And then this can be stacked with other scholarships that you may receive from the institution. We also have our trustee scholarship, which is $2,500 spread out over fall and winter semesters. This is based on a 3.0 or higher GPA. We have our Ocelot Award, which is $1,000, and you can apply for that as well. And then our presidential scholarship is $1,500. You have to at least have a 2.5 or higher GPA for that one. These are just our admission scholarships that are offered specifically through our admissions office, but we have a full service scholarship website at schoolcraft.edu/scholarships that our students can take advantage of and apply for those opportunities that are available. One nice thing about the scholarship software is that it'll generate all the scholarships that you specifically qualify for through your qualifications that are inputted on the scholarship system. So becoming a student at Schoolcraft is a super streamlined process and easy for our students to navigate. So first and foremost, you want to submit an online application. Our application is open for our fall 2023 semester. I always encourage students to fill out their application sooner rather than later so they can begin working on their next steps in the enrollment process. Our application is completely free of charge. So you can go to our website, schoolcraft.edu/apply. Fill out that application. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to complete. Once you are admitted, you will receive an email with your student ID number and your admitted student checklist outlining your next steps. A part of those next steps is for you to submit your high school transcript and your test scores. Like I mentioned earlier, this will not affect your admissions to the institution in any way, but these are used for placement purposes. After you submit your test scores and transcripts, you complete online orientation and meet with your academic advisor. Orientation is completed fully online. There is a link provided in your checklist. And then your academic advising appointment is required for our first-time students to help set you up for success with your classes and be sure that you're selecting the correct classes for your academic program. Also, if you're someone who's still exploring what you may be interested in, academic advising can do some career exploration with you at that time as well. And then lastly is for you to register for your classes and pay for classes. I always encourage students, if you are planning to receive financial aid or use funds you receive from your financial aid through the FAFSA, make sure that's done prior to you registering for your classes. Be sure that's all taken care of. Be sure that any scholarship opportunities that you are planning to apply to your tuition are in place prior to you registering for classes. So this will not hold up your process in actually enrolling and starting your classes for non-payment. Here at Schoolcraft, we do offer dual enrollment. So for students who are interested in earning some college credit while they're still in high school, you want to knock down some of those classes you have to take if you're someone who's considering doing a bachelor's degree and you want to start building your college transcript while you're still in high school, we do have dual enrollment that we do offer. You can view the full process on our website, schoolcraft.edu, and it outlines each step you'll take to become a dual enrollment here at Schoolcraft. And that is the end of my formal presentation. I will open up to any questions you all may have. Please feel free to contact us in the admissions office or at our answer center if you have any additional questions.
You guys, if you have questions, you can either type into the chat box or you can unmute and just freely ask.
Did we have a question there? I think someone unmuted themselves.
I don't have a question, actually. I liked everything you said. I graduated from Schoolcraft
Oh,
back
nice.
in 2018. Yes.
Oh,
What
wow.
did you study?
Science.
Nice.
And then I finished in Eastern Michigan, public health and healthcare administration.
Very nice. Very nice.
Good deal.
Yeah, thank you. Awesome. Schoolcraft is awesome. I love it.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. It's an awesome place to be.
Exactly. Yes.
I agree. I didn't graduate from Schoolcraft, but I still love your programs. Keandra, you know I'm a huge fan.
Thank you.
The
I
staff,
really appreciate that.
everyone there. They're so helpful, awesome, great teachers, everything.
We really appreciate that. We really pride ourselves on making it a great experience for our students and really supporting them through the process every step of the way. So we really appreciate that.
Of course.
Good deal. Okay, well then, if there aren't any questions or any more comments, we will bring this to a close. Keandra, thank you so much for the presentation. Excellent as always. And thank you guys for joining us here.
Thank you, Ms. Tony.
You're welcome. We will see you all next time on College and Career Pathways. Everybody have a great day and have a great weekend.
You too, both.
You
Bye-bye.
too.
All righty.